Welcome to Your Seventh Sense, a show for mission-driven entrepreneurs to evolve into unstoppable and intuitive leaders. Listen to Terry and her guests as they share stories of being powered by angels and intuition to achieve their success. Now let's unlock the power in you with your host, Terry Wildeman.
Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of Your Seventh Sense, business powered by angels and intuition. We have a magnificent show today with a guest who's going to be sharing with us some delightful insights about working specifically with angels. But before we get there, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm your host, Terry Wildeman. I am a speaker, author, trainer, and I love talking about intuition. My passion is working with leadership and with communications and assisting motivated business owners who are mission-driven to really be the best that they can be. The show is about bringing people on board who I absolutely adore, who they're all invited to the show, who are really connected with their intuition in a way that has helped their business to succeed. They also help others succeed using intuition, angels, guides, other methods that integrate the practical and the logical with the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual. So it is my joy, and I'm using that word for a reason, it is my joy to introduce you to someone who I really admire in regards to working with angels, and that is my dear friend Swami Tirtha, the Orange Cowboy. You notice he's wearing orange, right? So Swami is the host of the TV show Talking with Our Angels, and he is a #1 best-selling author. Speaking clients include the White House Alternative Medicine Commission, Johns Hopkins University, and Swami has more than 4 decades of teaching wellness and consciousness. At the age of 10, he began having spiritual experiences that altered his life in divine ways. And Swami survived a devastating tragedy at the age of 17 by seeking spiritual pathways, which led him to discover his mission of spreading the light of joy. Remember, I introduced him as joy that will help bring world peace. Swami's TV show invites guests to share a story when they talked with their angels, intuition, higher source, God, etc., and found their life changed miraculously. The goal of each episode is to show viewers how easy it is to talk with their angels and uplift their lives constantly. He is targeting his first movie. I'm so excited for you, Swami. His first movie, a comedy about listening to your heart and trusting your authenticity to have global impact. And his website is talkingwithourangels.com. And the title of our show today is The Risk of Not Taking Chances, Listening to Our Angels. And Swami, you and I both know that when we don't listen, havoc happens. So before we get started, I would love for you to share with the audience what's up with the Orange Cowboy outfit.
What's up? Well, joy. Terry, it is always a joy to talk with you. Joy, rock on, joy on the rock. Joy on the rocks. There's my drink, joy on the rocks.
There you go. Oh, I like that.
Well, I wear orange for 2 reasons. One is the very organic reason that I started to see orange in my head, and it was so joyful that when I went to the store and I saw an orange t-shirt at the Gap, I said, oh, look at that, and I had to buy it. And then I went back a couple of months later and they had an orange hoodie, and oh, look at that. And before you knew it, the Gap outfitted me from head to toe, from orange socks all the way up. And I was starting to feel a little bit self-conscious that, can I really walk around in front of people all orange? And then I remembered that I was recognized as a monk, a Swami in India by my guru, and they wear orange robes.
They do.
And so I said, well, okay, he said I was a Swami. He didn't say what to do or what not to do. So I guess I'll just step into both honor the East and the West at the same time.
Very, very nice. And I think it's brilliant because, hey, I can find you in a crowd. I can find
not at Home
my
Depot.
Swami
Home
in a
Depot a
crowd,
little
which is
different.
brilliant. All right. So, Swami, one of the things that you use, a word that is just integrated in your language, is the word joy.
That's right.
And just for you, I made this rock today. Just for you. So tell me, what does joy, joy, joy mean to you, and why do you use it so much?
Yeah, it just started to happen. I don't know why. I think it's just how I feel, and whenever three is a big number for me, anytime you do or say or see something three times, it's somehow, it sort of manifests somehow. And so just my heart, I just say joy, joy, joy. And people responded and giggled. And then even when I didn't say it, people would see me and say joy, joy, joy. So
I do that. So yeah, it
yeah.
works.
So it's a way that we just, I mean, again, not intentionally. Everything I do intentionally never works out. Everything that happens spontaneously from the heart works out. And so it's a way to just tune us into, to me, the highest level of life, of being alive, celebrating life. This is the age of celebration. So it just puts us there like that.
Brilliant. And I love that. And since this is a business show,
Right.
can you explain a little bit more to our business owners, our entrepreneurs, our CEOs, our professionals,
Sure.
how bringing more joy into the workplace, into their business, into how they do things can help them manifest more of what they want and less of what they don't want?
Sure, and I'll go to the exact opposite of ephemeral joy to a scientific research studies that show that when corporations take wellness programs, ones that work for them, not only do their people feel better, but they have a life purpose suddenly, and they work better. They're more creative. They're more harmonious. They make more money for the business, and they're less sick days. And then millions of dollars are saved in health insurance policy premiums.
Right.
So there you go, both sides, the
There you
joy,
go.
practical side of joy.
And that's what I'm looking for. Excellent. Now, you and I both talk about angels, and I know that we've had many discussions in the past about people fear coming out of the spiritual closet. People fear coming out of the angel closet. I talked about that in my intro. I talked about it in my very first episode, where it's time that those of us who are in the angel closet, the guide closet, the spiritual closet, whatever, the fear closet, that we step out, because the world really needs us right now. So I would love to hear from you. When was the first time you heard your angels? You
Wow.
stepped out of the angel closet. And what was the result?
Well, that's a really interesting question, Terry, because you know how life has cycles. The angels would visit me in different cycles. And I think more recently is really when the angels took over for me. And I think the actual pivot point for me was I was visiting Lilydale, which is a mediumship camp in Fredonia, near Fredonia, New York, near Buffalo. And I was in the service where the mediums would be reading, and they called me, "Would you like a reading?" I said, "Sure." They said, "You have this giant angel behind you. And this angel's telling me that when you were very young, you drowned twice and you went to heaven, and then they saved you, and both times you brought light back to the earth. First time you didn't have enough light, so you went back for more. And your mission in this world is to share light with people who need it, and you're doing it, and keep doing it." And I had to sit for about 5 or 10 minutes to think, because I couldn't remember drowning. And you know what? I did. This is pre-second grade, because I was living in a different house. And my neighbors, interestingly enough, on opposite sides of the street, literally, each had overground pools. And both of them, one, I just fell off the rubber tube without my goggles on, and I opened my eyes and underwater, and next thing I knew, I was out of the water. And the other one, I was very adventuresome. I said, "What happens if you slide down the slide head first?" And I opened my eyes underwater, go, "Oops, wrong decision." And again, just somehow pulled out. And for me, it was, when I was a kid, and I think a lot of people is, oh, nothing special ever happens to me in this world. And that was me, on and off in different places. But I realized it was nothing. I forgot that I connected myself to heaven. And that moment when that reader, that medium reminded me that I went to heaven twice and my angel is right there, I became a totally different person.
Nice.
And I changed. Everybody around me said, you're different. And I was lit up ever since then.
So is it fair to say that we all need to believe in miracles?
Well, believe in them when honor them, recognize them, and then you have to believe in them, because I could have easily said, oh, that never happened. I don't remember that, and gone on my way. Yeah, believe in miracles.
So I'm curious, how did your angels, after all of this, lead you to opportunity and success?
Boy, well, it just, the more in joy you are, the more people gravitate toward you.
Yeah, they do.
And that alone is, first off, the joy is the success. That I had my connection to heaven was my lifeline, my source. I'm reconnected to my source, to heaven. And now people all over, some of the most successful business people in the media, people will love being around me. They say they laugh, they feel joyful. They say my TV show is the most unique conversation they've ever had. I got a TV show, because of it, for the angels. The angels got me the show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how, in terms of business, they brought me the ideal business for me.
Nice. And do you find that business and opportunity comes to you more when you let go and step into flow and ease, or when you're pushing?
Oh, pushing just gives me, sore muscles, hernias, and mental stress.
It does, doesn't it? Okay. So how do you work with imagination? This is the word that keeps coming up for me. Imagination in working with your angels and guides and your TV show to help people become successful in business and life.
I'm so excited you brought that up, that word imagine, because when people are stuck and they're not sure about their angels or which way to go or what people think about them in business, if they step out of the box, I play a game with them, which is imagination. I call it pretend. Let's imagine something, and then we just pretend. It doesn't even happen. It's not even real. And as they make up a story, holy cow, that's where I need to be. So imagination is everything. This world is built from our thoughts.
Yes, it is.
So imagination, we create the world we want.
So would you say it's fair that when we welcome our imagination, I'm going to use the word welcome here. I love my little props.
Yes.
Use the word welcome. When we welcome our imagination, when we welcome our intuition, when we welcome I'm going to put up the word intuition too, because this is a big deal here. In corporate America, they're very comfortable with using my gut tells me, my gut tells me, my gut tells me.
Right.
However, God forbid you go into, I see, in my mind's eye, I'm getting these images or I'm hearing these words. It's God forbid you go to those places because people think you're absolutely nuts. But it's very safe in corporate America to say, in my gut. What would a boardroom, a meeting, a sales call look like if we welcomed our imagination, if we welcomed the images that come, the voices we hear, the emotions and feelings that we have, including the gut? What do you think would happen in the workplace?
Yeah, it's not even a thought. It just look back at the businesses, and even like I'm because I'm so much into media. You look at the TV shows that were allowed to find themselves, imagine who they were going to be, reimagine themselves because it wasn't working, not get penalized for failing or coming up with a bad idea. Those, like what MASH was like that. They were at the bottom of the ratings the first year. Now it's like the most watched show ever or something.
It's a cult.
It's a cult.
I was just at a colleague that we both know, Christine Powers. I was at her beautiful glamping site, New Glamshire, and we were doing the outside shower thing, which was absolutely beautiful shower. And I said to my husband, who is retired military, I said to him, so is this a little bit like MASH? Is this a little bit? And he's like, well, I think it's a little bit more luxurious than what they had in MASH, but yeah. And he started reciting episodes.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. When we allow intuition, when we allow things to just flow, things really do get big. Okay, brilliant.
It all depends on the CEO or the head of the head entrepreneur.
Sure. So how did you, in getting this TV show together, how did you attract to yourself exactly what you needed to be able to manifest this TV show and to move it to the position where next week, and I have to share with the audience, I pulled an angel card out, and the angel card that came up for Swami, by the way, I asked him I had a card deck in my hand, and I asked him to state a number, and he said 72. I said, there's no 72 card numbers in this deck. But I added 7 and 2 together for 9. And 9 is at the culmination of all the numbers. And the card career change came up. And career change is about you embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. So Swami, tell everybody about this career change you're shifting into next week, please.
Absolutely. Literally the angels brought me this show, and I'll answer that part of it in a moment. It's called Talking with Our Angels, and I interview CEOs, top speakers, musicians, Billboard, top 10 Billboard artists, young 10-year-old entrepreneur.
I was on your show.
Terry Welderman.
I was on your show, yes.
Angel Intuitive Boardroom author, best-selling author.
The Enchanted Boardroom.
And it starts airing on television, OTT television, which means cable, internet, direct satellite, rabbit ears, internet, always. And it starts next week.
That is so exciting.
Friday, yeah.
So how can folks tune into it?
Yeah, you can easily just go to my website, talkingwithourangels.com. And it's right, scroll down, you'll see I even have time zones for different countries. It's Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and Friday night, 10 p.m. Pacific time. And then,
brilliant.
And I have the link. You could watch it right on the internet, or if you've got Viacom, Comcast, DirecTV, Roku, Amazon Fire, on and on and on, you could watch it already on what you have.
Brilliant. So what is your parting message that you would love to share with your Seventh Sense audience?
I think it's the answer of your other question is, how did I manifest the show? And it's so profound. I had to go within and listen and work on myself and play, become more playful, and just enjoy life. And somehow the show came to me. Somebody said to me, you really deserve a show. And I said, well, the angels keep telling me that. I'm just waiting for a person to give it to me. He says, well, I'm offering it to you.
There you go. Brilliant. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, Swami. That is such a nice example of how when we get out of our own way, opportunity lands in our lap when we least expect it. We just have to follow our calling, move forward, and trust. And that's a big word. Trust, even though it's a little rock, it's a very gigantic word, because as you and I have spoken in the past also, we often go into fear because we're a little bit too scared to listen to what's really coming around us. Now, to continue the journey with you on your Seventh Sense show, do you have a free gift? I know you have a gift for your Seventh Sense audience.
I do. And like everything else for success, all you have to do is take action to get it. go to my other website, orangecowboy.com. Orange, the color, cowboy like the hat. And right there at the top, you'll see a gift, a Tibetan bowl sound bath meditation. It's really good for everybody, and especially for people who say, I don't know how to meditate, because it will meditate you. You just download it and let it wash over you.
Very, very nice. Well, Swami, I want to thank you so much for the beautiful wisdom that you have shared with us today, and sharing with the folks who are in business, for the folks who sometimes don't think that this is valid in the workplace. And you have shared all the reasons why it is valid, why it is necessary, why we don't have to stress out all the time if we just shift into ease, grace, and flow, and trust. And trust. So thank you so much for being here, Swami. I so appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to Your 7 Cents and listening in. You can view us as video or as a podcast at www.your7thsense.com. If you would like to learn more about our programs with Intuitive Leadership, which is my main business, where we teach communications, leadership, stress resilience for business folks who are mission-driven entrepreneurs, please go to www.intuitiveleadership.com. And I look forward to seeing you next time. To your success.
Unlock the power in you and elevate your 7 cents with our intuitive leadership training programs, masterminds, VIP days, and retreats. To learn more, visit intuitiveleadership.com.